You may have heard us meteorologists talk about El Nino, but what is it and why does it have such a big impact on our weather? Let's head out on the streets and see what people already know. Have you ever heard about an El Nino?
No, I never heard about it.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. I wouldn't have a clue, sorry.
I'm not sure whether it's the bad weather or the good weather.
What does this sound like?
A yogurt?
A yogurt! That's a good guess.
To dispel some of the confusion, we first need to look to the tropical Pacific, as this is the engine room for El Nino. The fuel for this engine? Warm water. As the warm water moves across the Pacific, it releases large amounts of warmth and moisture into the atmosphere above it. This influences global weather and climate patterns. To understand El Nino, we need to understand what moves the warm water around. And to do that, let's shrink the Pacific into this rock pool. So during a normal season, thanks to the Earth's rotation, the winds generally blow from east to west, pushing the ocean with it. So much so that the sea level in Indonesia can be up to a half meter higher than in South America. So next, we need to understand what's going on underneath the water. So as the warm water near the surface is pushed west, cold water in the east will rise up to replace it. This is known as upwelling. Some years, these trade winds blow harder and more warm water is pushed west. This is what creates La Nina. Every few years, the trade winds weaken or even blow from west to east, a natural phenomenon. When this happens, there is less cold upwelling, and the big mass of warm water ends up sitting closer to South America. This, my friends, creates El Nino. The last time we saw El Nino was in 2015. In North Canterbury, it contributed to severe drought, and on a global scale, it led to devastating flooding in Peru. On the other hand, the last time La Nina affected us, we had our warmest summer on record and an impactful marine heat wave. So the next time we see El Nino or La Nina, are we likely to see the same effects? Well, every El Nino and La Nina is different. We know the average outcome, however, each one has its own unique climate characteristics, and that's our job to figure those out.
El Nino and La Nina are the opposite phases of the El Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle, or in short, ENSO, and it accounts for up to 25% of the climate variability for us here in New Zealand. Whether or not climate change has an impact on El Nino is still an area of emerging research, but what we do know is the importance of adapting to extreme weather events and the impact that it has on our region.